Very good morning, students. Today we are going to learn chapter number 7, Non Cooperation Movement. As we all know, in the Indian national movement, the period from 1920 to 1947 is known as the Gandhian era. After the death of Lokmanya Tilak in the year 1920, the reins of national movement went into the hands of Mahatma Gandhi, and he gave a new direction to the freedom movement with the principles of truth, non-violence and satyagraha. Due to the influential leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, the national movement became more comprehensive, and this led to the beginning of a new era in the freedom movement of India. Let us discuss about role of Gandhiji in South Africa, and when Gandhiji arrives in India, we will discuss role of Gandhiji in India as well. Role of Gandhiji in South Africa. Mahatma Gandhi went to South Africa for some legal work in the year 1893, and South Africa was a colony of the British. Many Indians had settled there for business, trade and such other work. The Indians in the South Africa were treated as criminals and humiliated at all times. So in the year 1906, the government declared that it was compulsory for the blacks to carry an identity card, and their freedom was restricted as well. Gandhiji followed the path of satyagraha against the injustice and gained justice for the people in South Africa. But what happened when Gandhiji arrived in India? When he arrives in India on 9th January 1915, Gandhiji returned to India from South Africa. As suggested by Gopal Krishna Gokhale, he made a tour of entire nation, and he became sad looking at the misery and poverty of the people. So he took up the vow of service to the nation, and he stayed at the Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad. He followed a new technique of satyagraha to gain justice for common people. Let us know about the philosophy of satyagraha. Along with this, we are also going to discuss about Champaranya Satyagraha and Kheda Satyagraha. Philosophy of Satyagraha. Let's discuss. Gandhiji brought in a novel technique of Satyagraha in the popular movement. And Satyagraha means insistence of truth. The main objective of Satyagraha is through patience and Satyagraha, an unjust person is made aware of truth and justice, and also bring transformation in his views. A person following Satyagraha should never use violence and untruth means, was the teachings of Gandhiji. Later, not only in India but in many parts of the world, people adopted the path of Satyagraha to fight against injustice. Gandhiji's path of Satyagraha made an impact on Martin Luther King, who was struggling for the rights of the blacks in America, as well as on Nelson Mandela in South Africa. Champaranya Satyagraha. In Bihar, the farmers of Champaranya region were forced to cultivate indigo. So the cultivators suffered economically, and since they received fixed amount of money from the planters. So Gandhiji went to Champaranya in 1917 and he organized the farmers in Champaranya, and then he launched agitation by the following way of Satyagraha. Gandhiji's first war of independence in India became successful and the farmers were given justice. Kheda Satyagraha. Due to the constant famines in Kheda district, Gujarat, the crop had failed. So still the land tax was forcibly collected by the government. Gandhiji suggested that the farmers should refuse to pay the tax, and the farmers began the movement for scrapping of tax at Kheda in 1918, and Gandhiji accepted the leadership of this movement within a short period of time, and thereafter the government suspended the tax. Very good morning, students. In our previous video we have discussed about role of Gandhiji in South Africa, philosophy of Satyagraha, Champaranya Satyagraha and Kheda Satyagraha. Today we are going to discuss about workers' movement at Ahmedabad, Satyagraha against Rowlatt Act and Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Now, workers' movement at Ahmedabad. During the First World War, there was great inflation. So the mill workers demanded for rise in salary. But the mill workers owners rejected this demand, and as per Gandhiji's advice, the workers went on hunger strike. Finally, the mill owners had to back off and the salary of workers was increased. Satyagraha against Rowlatt Act. In the First World War, the Indians had helped the British, and the Indians felt that after the World War is over, there will be a system of governance for taking decisions for the well-being of the Indians. But there was growing unrest among the Indians regarding the increasing prices and taxes. So to suppress this discontent and to suggest measures about it, a committee was appointed under Sir Sidney Rowlatt. And according to the recommendations of this committee, a new law was passed without considering the opposition of Indian members in Central Legislative Assembly on 17th March 1919, and this law came to be known as Rowlatt Act. This act gave the right to the government to arrest anybody without any warrant or imprison without any trial. Appeal was prohibited against the punishment given through this act, and the Indians called this act as Black Act. And a tide of anger which arose all over India against this act. Gandhiji launched a satyagraha against it on 6th April 1919, and he appealed to the Indians to follow Hartal all over India against this act. Indians responded to this appeal on a large scale. Let us discuss about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So the movement that arose against the Rowlatt Act took over a fierce form in the province of Punjab, and Amritsar became the main center of this movement. The government, who had started the spate of suppression, Gandhiji was prohibited from entering the province of Punjab. General Dyer issued orders of ban on public meetings in Amritsar. So the important leaders like Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Kichelu were arrested for their involvement in Amritsar Hartal case. As per a protest against this, on 13th April 1919, on a Baisakhi day, the people of Amritsar assembled at a place named Jallianwala Bagh. General Dyer arrived with armed force and the place was enclosed from all sides and had only one small gate. General Dyer positioned his army and closed down the only gate. So, without giving any prior notification to the disarmed innocent people, he ordered his soldiers to fire. 1,660 rounds had been fired, and the army continued firing until the ammunition was over. So, in this massacre, about 400 people, including men and women, were killed. Many people were wounded. After firing, curfew was announced, and hence, immediate treatment to the injured could not be made available. So, in entire Punjab, military law was enforced and many were sent to jail by the government. In this, General Dyer, Governor of Punjab, was responsible for this massacre. All over India, there was protest against this act, and as a protest against this massacre, Rabindranath Tagore gave away the title of Sir bestowed on him by the British government, and later Indians demanded for the inquiry of this massacre. Hence, British government appointed the Hunter Commission. Very good morning, students. In our previous video, we have discussed about workers' movement at Ahmedabad, Satyagraha against Rowlatt Act, and about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. In this video, we are going to discuss about Khilafat movement, non-cooperation movement, and progress of non-cooperation movement. Khilafat movement. Muslims all over the world regarded the ruler of Turkey as their religious leader. So, during the First World War, Turkey fought against the British. And to get the support of the Indian Muslims in the war, the British had assured that after the end of the war, Khalifa's empire will not be harmed. But after the end of the First World War, England did not stick to its assurance. A tide of great discontent arose among the Muslims, and the movement started by Indian Muslims to support the Khalifa was called Khilafat movement. Gandhiji thought that on this problem, if the Hindus and Muslims come together and start a national movement, then the government can surely be brought to its senses. Therefore, Gandhiji supported the Khilafat movement, and the Khilafat committee accepted Gandhiji's proposal of following non-cooperation to the government. And thereafter, Hindu-Muslim unity was seen especially during this period. Non-cooperation movement. The concept behind the non-cooperation movement was that the British government in India is dependent only on the cooperation of the Indians. And if the Indians adopted complete non-cooperation, then the British government will completely collapse. With this intention, he evoked the people of India to take part in this movement. In 1920, the Indian National Congress session was held at Nagpur. The resolution of non-cooperation movement put forth by Chittaranjan Das was accepted. All the reins of the movement were given in the hands of Mahatma Gandhi. And according to this resolution, a program was framed to boycott government offices, courts, foreign goods, government schools, and colleges. What about the progress of non-cooperation movement then? On the background of non-cooperation movement, many eminent lawyers like Motilal Nehru, Chittaranjan Das boycotted the court by giving up their practice. During this period, with the boycott of schools and colleges, the scheme of national education was run. Many national schools, colleges, and universities were established. There was boycott of coming elections, boycott and bonfire of foreign clothes. Due to this, the import of foreign clothes decreased. In 1921, during the visit of Prince of Wales, he was welcomed by organizing Hartal. Lonely roads and closed shops welcomed the prince. The movement spread from the planters in Assam to rail workers in Bengal. And to bring the movement under control, the British government undertook suppressive measures. In February 1922, the police opened fire on a peaceful procession at Chauri Chaura in Gorakhpur district of Uttar Pradesh. The people were angry and set fire to the police station, in which, along with one officer, 22 policemen were killed. Due to this incident, Gandhiji was hurt. On February 12, 1922, Gandhiji suspended the non-cooperation movement. After that, Gandhiji was arrested in March 1922 for writing 3 anti-national articles in Young India. Special court was set up at Ahmedabad and Gandhiji was sentenced 6 years of imprisonment. Later, on grounds of ill health, Gandhiji was released from the jail. Gandhiji, along with non-cooperation movement, took up constructive programs which mainly included spread of Swadeshi, Hindu-Muslim unity, prohibition of alcohol, removal of untouchability, popularized use of khadi, national education. Due to these constructive programs, the national movement became more comprehensive in rural areas. Dear students, do you know about Mulshi Satyagraha? During the non-cooperation movement, the farmers of Mulshi Taluka in Pune district launched Satyagraha against the government. Senapati Pandurang Mahadev Bapat led the Mulshi Satyagraha, for which he was punished with 6 years of imprisonment. Very good morning, students. In our previous video, we have discussed about Khilafat movement, non-cooperation movement and progress of non-cooperation movement. In this video, we are going to discuss about Swaraj Party, Simon Commission and demand for Purna Swaraj. Let us discuss about Swaraj Party. The members of Indian National Congress such as Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru put up the idea of contesting elections and obstructing the work of the British government. In 1922, the Swaraj Party was established. In 1923, many members of Swaraj Party were elected in the Central Legislative Assembly and Provincial Legislative Council. mainly including Motilal Nehru, Madan Mohan Malviya, Lala Lajpat Rai, and N.C. Kelkar. When the political movement in the country clamped down, then the fight in the Legislative Assembly was strengthened by the Swaraj Party. They severely opposed the unjust policies of the British. They demanded that responsible government should be given to India in future. They made a resolution to be passed in the Legislative Assembly for the release of political leaders from prison. To call for the roundtable conference, the government rejected most of the resolutions. Simon Commission. The reforms introduced by the Montagu-Chelmsford Act of 1919 were unsatisfactory. Hence, there was discontent among the Indian people, and on this background, the British appointed a commission under the chairmanship of Sir John Simon. In this commission, none of the Indian member was included, and hence the Congress decided to boycott the commission. In 1928, the commission arrived in India, and wherever it travelled, the people made demonstrations against them by shouting the slogans like "Simon, go back." And there was lathi charge on the demonstrators. But at Lahore, Lala Lajpat Rai was leading the demonstration against the Simon Commission, and the police lathi charged the demonstrators. The Saunders, a police officer, attacked Lalaji with the lathi. After the attack, in a protest meeting, Lalaji said, "Every blow on my body will prove a nail in the coffin of the British Empire." So within few days of the attack, Lalaji died. After that, you can hear about the Nehru Report. Birkenhead, Secretary of the State of India, criticized that the Indian leaders cannot draft a unanimously accepted constitution, and this challenge was accepted and all party committee was formed. Pandit Motilal Nehru was the chairman of this committee to establish self-government in colonies of India, implement adult franchise system, linguistic division of provinces, such as proposals were put up in this report. And this report was known as the Nehru Report. But by the end of the 1929, an indication was given that if the Nehru Report is not accepted by the government, then the civil disobedience movement will be started. And on this background, in December 1929, the Lahore session presided by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became memorable in history. And after that, you can see the demand for Purna Swaraj. So the objective of the Indian National Congress of the Dominion status was not acceptable to the many young members, and young leaders like Pandit Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose were demanding complete independence, that is Purna Swaraj. And due to the influence of this young group, in the Lahore session of Indian National Congress, the resolution of attainment of complete independence was passed. Through this resolution, Indian National Congress gave up the objective of dominion status, and from here onwards, the objective of national movement was complete independence of India. On 31st December 1929, Pandit Nehru unfurled the tricolor flag, and a resolution was passed in which 26 January was declared to be celebrated as Independence Day. On 26 January 1930, people all over the country took pledge for carrying out the freedom movement with non-violent means for attainment of independence of India. Elsewhere in the country, the atmosphere was charged with a new spirit. Thank you.